Hi, everyone. My name is Sergio Campos, and I'm the founder of ECF. And today I will be presenting on why ECF is a better alternative to financial data aggregation. And what do I mean by financial data aggregation? Specifically, I'm referring to the tools that allow you to compile financial information from different financial institutions using your credentials or your client's credentials. And there's a few services out there that accomplish this. And one of the big ones is Plaid, and there are a few others. And so this is what I'll be presenting on today, why ECF is a better alternative to using something like Plaid or any of the other financial data aggregation services out there. And so first, we'll start off with the introduction here. ECF's mission is to offer financial professionals a path for a more inclusive and intuitive financial planning experience. That's what El Camino Financial is all about. And today, this is our agenda. The first thing we'll cover is why data aggregation doesn't work. And then we will discuss the ECF solution. And then we will follow up with how to get started with ECF today. So there are a few problems with data aggregation, and this problem is personal for me because I've been in the wealth management industry for over 10 years, and for a few of those years I was responsible for managing the data aggregation of hundreds of client accounts. And so I have a lot of experience with this. I have a lot of experience with the pain points you would encounter by using these data aggregation tools. And so I'm going to touch on a few of those pain points that I firsthand experienced. And so the first issue with these services is that there's a lot of troubleshooting because of technical issues between the outside financial institutions and the software you're trying to bring that data into. So a lot of times, or all the time, you're using your client's credentials to feed that information into your financial planning tool, investment reporting tool, whatever tool it is that you're trying to compile this information in. And you're doing that using your client's credentials. And sometimes those outside institutions where your clients have accounts at, their technology does not play well with your tool. And so a lot of times you'll be running into technical issues where the data just doesn't feed in, the links break for a variety of different reasons. One of those reasons brings us to point number two is sometimes your clients are forced to update their password. And so the link between that outside institution and your tools will break because the outside institution might require the client to update their password or re-authenticate the connection. They might require the client to approve of the connection again using a text message or an email with a code. And so I've ran into this a lot, being responsible for these data aggregation tools. And the next issue that we're going to discuss is that this requires a lot of time. Even if you have a few clients, it takes a lot of time to manage. When these links break, contacting your client, trying to work with them to repair the link, figure out what's going on. You most likely will have a case open with the your technology provider to help you troubleshoot the issue. And so you're going to be communicating with your technology provider and your client possibly. And this just takes a lot of time. And let's say one client might have 3 to 5 accounts linked, And if you have 10 clients, you might have 50 accounts that would run into these issues. And if you have more than 10 clients, which is very likely you do, you are going to have possibly hundreds of accounts and troubleshooting all sorts of different issues that you're going to be facing with data aggregation or already are. And if you do have a large volume of accounts, uh, in this data aggregation service, it's likely that you possibly have to have someone on your team helping you or possibly taking over this responsibility. And then that takes away their time from possibly helping you with something more productive. And so this is just a real time sucker, and it's very expensive. And another huge issue that I've seen firsthand is that the regulators and auditors do not like the data aggregation tools because they're wondering, how are you managing this? Are you taking your client's credentials and entering it for them? Does that mean you have your client's bank account credentials, or are you having the client enter this? And that means that's more work for your clients if you are having them enter this information and updating their passwords and their authentication and helping you troubleshoot these issues. So again, this is a big red flag for regulators. I've seen this firsthand. I've seen a lot of attention from the regulators directed to these third party data aggregation tools. And if you've ever used these tools before, you know that the data quality is not perfect. The information coming in often does not come in the way you want, it does not come in correctly. Uh, if you've ever used something like QuickBooks, you know how often you need to recategorize those transactions into QuickBooks. QuickBooks will do its best to categorize them the way it thinks you want them to be, but oftentimes you have to correct their mistakes. And so the same applies with other data aggregation tools. The data just doesn't come in perfectly, so you might be spending a lot of time reviewing the information coming in and then having to fix it. And so again, I've been personally responsible with my employers for managing this whole task of, keeping these links working, uh, monitoring the data quality, working with clients to fix these issues, working with our technology provider to fix these issues takes a lot of time. And I've also been in the middle of these regulatory audits where a lot of attention is being directed at this service and they don't like it. And so save yourself the headache. This here is a screenshot of a very popular data aggregation tool that's used in the wealth management industry. And you can see here there's a list of accounts. Some of these accounts aren't working, or the institutions aren't working, and they all have different reasons as to why they're not working, and it's just a constant headache and something I don't think you and your team want to deal with. And again, it's not worth the risk. The regulators are really focused on these data aggregation tools, and the writing's on the wall. When you visit FINRA website, there was recently a group of advisors that were warned about how they were using this technology. And so don't put yourself in this situation, avoid the risk. And that's where El Camino Financial comes in, also known as ECF. ECF allows you to develop financial snapshots through our discovery process. Our discovery process is it's a manual entry process, but we've streamlined this process so that it's easy to input all of your clients' data. The information we collect is on a need to know basis. We are not connecting to your clients' financial institutions. We are not requiring your clients' credentials, and we're not requiring their transactional data to produce the ECF snapshots that our app creates. And through our discovery snapshot process, it allows you and your client to go through a discovery process. And this is great for you and your client. It's very educational. It's, again, less invasive than the data aggregators. Our process is collecting information on a need to know basis, and you have complete control over the information you provide to the ECF app. And finally, ECF fosters collaboration between you and your client. The snapshot discovery process is a great opportunity to collaborate with your client, to learn where their money's going, learn their goals. We have a very streamlined process to guide you through this discovery process. And I'd love to meet with you and tell you more about this. I am also offering a free trial for you to jump into ECF on your own and learn how this can revolutionize your financial planning process. And so you might be thinking, wow, manual data entry, that sounds like a lot of work. Well, we have focused a lot of our attention on streamlining the data gathering discovery process so that's as easy and fluid as possible. ECF makes data gathering and future updates stress free. All the data you provide is saved so that whenever you come in and make updates in the future, you're not starting from scratch. You're fine tuning the information that you entered in last time. And that makes a big difference because it's very unlikely that you're going to have to make a lot of updates when you create a new snapshot. And the reason is because financial numbers don't change as often as you think. Think of income, housing, insurance, auto loan payments, college loan payments. These figures do not change very often. And most of these are your non discretionary expenses. And so you'd be surprised, how little these numbers change within a year's span. And over time, you will be updating this, but it's never going to be a huge undertaking other than maybe the first time you enter your client's financial information, you're starting from zero. But even then, we've made it very easy to get started. And then for future updates, you're fine tuning that information. If your client gets a raise, you can easily update the income. If their rent maybe is increased a little bit, you can come in, update their rent. Or if anything else has changed, we've made it very easy to fine tune this information going forward. And guess what? There's no links that are going to break. You don't need to call your client about updating their password. You don't need to worry about regulators coming in and wondering how you're getting this information. You're getting this information by sitting down with your client and talking through the process, this discovery process, and you're gathering information that is essential and not diving into very personal transactional data. You're not involving the credentials. You're not connecting to their outside financial institutions. And so that's what makes ECF a great tool. And so it's very easy to get started with ECF today. You can contact me, schedule a demo with me. I'd be more than glad to meet with you. ECF is only $997 a year. And for that, you get unlimited access for your clients and business. You get support from the ECF team, a user friendly app to keep your clients on track. And, one other thing that is a benefit is that we provide our mobile app, not the desktop app. The desktop app is exclusively for financial advisors, but we make our mobile app, which is available on the Apple Store and Android, we make it available to everyone, all individuals that are looking to better themselves financially through education or through budgeting. Our app is totally free for them. And so by signing up with ECF, you're supporting that cause. And that's it for today. I thank you for your time and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.